Okay. Hello and welcome everyone who's both here now and who's here in the future now, which of course is also now. Thank you all for joining. Greatly appreciate your presence. Let me start by thanking and acknowledging the original custodians of this land and to pay my respects to the elders past, present and future, and to thank all of our ancestors for their energy and participation and bringing us to this moment of now. And thank every one of you who is here today in whatever form. So I've had some feedback, some requests for things to do today, and I've had a few thoughts about things to do. So in today's session, I'm going to do a trance, ramble a lot. I'm actually going to start with 2 rounds of tapping on resentment, and I'll do that in a minute. I'll talk a tiny bit about a couple of things first, and then as part of the trance again today, I'm going to do an energy sharing. As part of that, I'm going to drink a solution of energy that comes with bushflower essences. I'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. As I'm talking and rambling, those of you who know me may already start to feel that wonderful feeling that my voice induces, that my energy induces, where you can start to go into trance. So you'll all be at different levels already. At any time, as and when you want, you can allow your eyes to close. If you want, you can just go into a really deep trance straight away, or you can take your time and follow me and enjoy the journey. Ultimately, the clinical benefits of meditating or going into a deep relaxing state regularly, ideally daily, are proven beyond a doubt. So the more often you listen to this, the more often you do this type of deep relaxation, the better your overall mental and physical health will be. So thank you for joining me. And thank you for practicing this, because it is a good community service for us all to learn how to more easily and deeply be mindful of our own emotion, of our own energy, which then makes life easier for all of us. So I'm briefly going to tap on resentment for 2 cycles. And the reason that I've chosen resentment is because a lot of us who struggle with anger at times in the world, it's just one of the big emotions out there. And resentment usually is when we can't release our anger in whatever way and deal with it and make peace with it. We tend to stew on things, and eventually we have this feeling of resentment. Now, quite often resentment comes from our inability to change something that we see as a negative or as an unfair, unjust, whatever. Very topical today, as we've discussed the response of some of the players from Manly about the jersey and not wanting to wear it because of the pride colours. So some of us might feel resentment towards the fact that these individuals are not enlightened or don't understand the inclusion aspects. And there will be some people who resent the fact that someone would actually want to have a rainbow flag or any sort of inclusive ideals, simply because through their life journey, they still are in that state where they don't understand the aspects of the benefits of inclusion, of symbiosis and working together, and you know, the sum being greater than the parts. So all sorts of different reasons why we might feel resentment. Personally, at times I feel resentment at myself for the fact that I still have to work on my body, that, you know, being chronically ill for over 20 years, that all sorts of things happen in my body. I resent the cold, my struggle with energy, lots of different things. Sometimes I resent my husband, and you know, we love each other and obviously we get through all of that. So sometimes I simply need to get it out, when we talk about it, so I'm just going to tap. I'm not going to explain all the different things. Anyone who wants to can do the tapping with me, or you can just laugh at me as I, do this. But I'm just going to talk while I tap on the karate chop point at the start. And even though I have this resentment, this anger, this frustration, all these different energies, real resentment at our leaders, our politicians, opinion leaders, everyone, all this resentment. Even though I have this resentment, I love and accept myself exactly as I am, for I am a wonderful person. And I release myself from this resentment. Now I'm going to tap on all of the different points and then come back to the karate chop point. So tapping above the eye, this resentment. Say it with me if you want. Side of the eye. This resentment. Under the eye. This resentment. Under the nose. This resentment. Chin point. This resentment. Collarbone. This resentment. Under the arm. This resentment. Top of the head. This resentment. Side of the thumb. This resentment. Index finger. This resentment. Middle finger. This resentment. Ring finger. This resentment. Little finger. This resentment. Back of the hand looking straight ahead. This resentment. Close your eyes. This resentment. Open your eyes. This resentment. Look down hard to the right. This resentment. Hard to the left. This resentment. Roll your eyes over. This resentment. Back the other way. This resentment. Humming. This resentment. Counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This resentment. Humming again. This resentment. And back to the karate chop point. And even though I have this resentment at the world, at how we interact at times, resentment at myself for not voicing what I need to often enough, not being able to talk at times when I get triggered in different experiences and situations. Simply this remaining resentment, whatever it may be that I feel or that some of us may feel. Even though I have this resentment, I appreciate and know that the more I let it go, the more I can neutralize my own negative energy, and I can use it to feel calm, let go of this resentment, and simply to cope more easily. And then in a calm, stern, firm manner, set those boundaries, communicate those things that I need to. So as I release this remaining resentment, I love and accept myself exactly as I am, for I am a wonderful person. And I release this resentment, tapping above the eye, this resentment, side of the eye, this resentment, under the eye, this resentment, under the nose, this resentment, chin point, this resentment, collarbone, this resentment, under the arm, this resentment, top of the head, this resentment, side of the thumb, this resentment, index finger, this resentment, middle finger, this resentment, ring finger, this resentment, little finger, this resentment, back of the hand looking straight ahead, this resentment, close your eyes, this resentment, open your eyes, this resentment, look down hard to the right, this resentment, hard to the left, this resentment, roll your eyes over, this resentment, back the other way, this resentment, humming, this resentment, counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, this resentment, humming again, this resentment, and back to the karate chop point. Now, I've just realized that I didn't press record, so I've done this wonderful tapping on resentment, and I have recorded it in another version, so I may still, manage to marry these two videos, but we'll see. If not, then those of you who are only seeing the video recording won't get to see the wonderful tapping I just did on resentment. Anyway, I don't resent myself for doing it. So, love, peace, compassion, forgiveness, mindfulness, so many different things. Before I go into trance and talk you into trance, I'm going to, on a request, send some energy as part of the trance, and I've mentioned that there may be an energy tune-up as well. So I've prepared some bushflower essences that I've put in this glass of water. So the essences are Banksia robur, which is really good for anyone who's lost their motivation, is jaded with life, basically demotivated by everything going on around them. Isopogon, I don't know if it's visible or not. It's really good for learning from our life. Actually, let me show you so that's Isopogon. I've lost the Banksia one, that's okay. Macrocarpa, don't need to show you that in fact. That's for energy, for anyone who's really exhausted. Sunshine Wattle is for optimism, for, remembering and observing and seeing and feeling all the amazing, beautiful little things all around us. And then Solaris Logus is not a flower essence, it's an energy essence to open the heart chakra and, release and increase our vibrant inner energy. So, as you may or may not know, to anyone who once you're in trance, I will connect my energy and Reiki energy to you. Cheers, here's to the essences and energies. Anyone who has questions about these can always ask me afterwards, or send me a message. So, as part of the trance, I'll be talking a little bit about the chakras again as usual and all sorts of things. As you get ready now, and you might already be ready, you may have locked your doors, let everyone around you know that you're going to be in a state where you don't want to be disturbed for at least half an hour to 45 minutes. I invite you to make yourself comfortable now. You might turn down the lights. I'm not going to, because as I turn down the lights, it highlights all the bags under my eyes, and it's not particularly flattering. So you get me in my full shiny glory. As you make yourself comfortable now, if you've never tranced before, depending on your state of mind and your mental and physical state, please make sure that a hypnotic trance is right for you. You may need to talk to your licensed medical practitioner about this, or get them to review this. Otherwise, as you make yourself ready, if you're underage, please make sure you have your parents' permission. For a moment, as you make yourself more comfortable, relaxed, you can sit up, you can lie down. Set the intention for you to allow yourself to work with your own energy, regardless of what energy I might send you, to work with your own energy in a positive manner for your highest and best will and good, for your brightest future. So, if we reflect for a moment, what does our best possible us look like? What would we like it to look like? For most of us, we would like to be confident, strong, calm and relaxed, energetic, more at peace probably for many of us, whatever you may want to be. Allow yourself for a moment to think about that you, and observe any chatter from your body or your mind that is resisting that's negative, that says, oh no, and for anyone, I've totally lost my confidence for several years. Anyone who's been through lows and depression and all sorts of negative things, or may have really strong pain in their body or things that hold them back, there's a lot of negative talk. Now, the reality is that that just is. Whatever's happened has happened. So the more we learn to grow from that, to tap into our past as a strengthening tool rather than to tap into our past, to hold on to past hurts as excuses and reasons to not at least attempt to get better. Because depending on where we're at and what's happening, and I'm going to take this one out because it's annoying me, whatever it is, whatever's happening, ultimately the more we can focus our mind and our energy, and we all have energy, you know, it's a bit of a no-no in certain medical circles, and yet more and more prominently energy medicine is becoming clinically proven and effective. So the more we actually work with ourselves to align our mind, to align our little neurons, to tap into our abilities to sense into our body and into our energies, the healthier we can become. You know, ultimately, while we're sold a whole bunch of drugs and surgeries and procedures as ways to heal, the reality is that they're simply sutures and dressings, and our body, we heal ourselves. So, you know, obviously, yes, I still want my local and general anesthetic, and I want surgery and doctors and all sorts of things. And I appreciate that I have pretty strong self-healing abilities, and the more I embrace those and work with those and encourage myself, the better I get. So let's tap into that and allow ourselves to deeply relax into a most wonderful trance state. So when you're ready, you do not have to close your eyes for any part of this. You can simply let your gaze soften and, you know, just allow in and invite in whatever information comes in. Or you can look up now and take a deep breath in. And then as you exhale, you allow your eyes to close and more deeply relax. And just listen to the sound of my voice and listen to the sounds around you. And as you do, allow those different sounds more and more to relax you. Your subconscious mind uses sounds to make sure that you're safe. So any emergency sound you'll instantly be aware of and come out of trance and be able to deal with it. But any other sound, I invite you now to use it to relax, to drift deeper, to more and more let go of stress and tension. And whatever is happening, if you need or want, allow yourself to put your hand on your heart, if that feels good, or any other body part that might need soothing for you at the moment. And I'd like you just to take a few gentle breaths with me. And as you do, there's, no need to inhale really deeply. As you feel the breath entering through your nose, notice it entering the body. Observe what's going on for you. Some of us will be still in a very highly energized state, and others in a really low and either peaceful and calm, or sometimes really depressed and sad state. And all of that, to all of us, a big hug, huge hug. Anyone who wants a hug, I will always give you a hug. So a big hug to everyone who's watching this and hearing this. And let's take a moment just to feel grateful. And sometimes that's difficult. However, more and more, as we can allow ourselves to relax and drift deeper at our own pace, feeling grateful for something, a loved one, a pet, our ability to still breathe and smile at ourselves, sometimes in the most wonderful circumstances. Let a deep feeling of calm spread through. And I invite you now to relax your whole body, starting with the muscles in and around your eyes. See and feel that relaxation moving down your face as you relax your cheeks, your mouth, and your jaw, and even relaxing the muscles inside your mouth. See and feel that relaxation moving over your forehead, over the top of your head and down the back of your neck, as you relax your shoulders and arms, relaxing your hands and your fingers, relaxing your chest and your stomach, relaxing your hips and your legs, relaxing your feet and your toes. And as you continue to relax and drift deeper now at a pace that's just right for you, then in a moment I'm going to count from 10 to 1. If you wish, you can imagine you're drifting down a set of stairs or taking an elevator, or you may simply allow yourself to just drift a little bit deeper with each count, become a little bit more relaxed, whatever is right for you. And when I reach the number 1, I invite you to allow your mind, your energy, your spirit to enter a healing space that is right for you today. And whatever imagery comes to me when I get there, I'll use. However, this is your trance and your healing space, so allow it to be whatever you want. At any time, if you need, wriggle around, make yourself more comfortable as I count from 10 to 9, relaxing and letting go. 8, nobody wanting anything and nobody needing anything from you at the moment. This is your relaxation and trance. 7, as you gently drift deeper down. 6 and 5, any sound that's not an emergency taking you deeper now. 4, letting all stress, tension and negative energy leave your body at your pace. 3, drifting deeper down. 2, more and more relaxed. As 1, you gently allow your healing space to come into focus around you. And perhaps you might find yourself in a forest or by the beach. I'm going to use the imagery of a forest simply because that's where I like to go. However, if you're by the beach with gentle waves, or maybe in a crystal cave, or simply drifting, floating in a shapeless, formless void, wherever you are, in this space you are safe and secure. Here nothing can harm you. Here, if you have allergies, you have none. And in this space, as you continue to relax, I wonder, what would be the surface that you're sitting or lying on? So for me, in the forest, in a little gentle clearing, soft grass with leaves, just gently smelling that forest air and hearing birds and insects nearby, and perhaps even that gentle burbling stream of water. And in simply connecting to the energy of nature, allowing ourselves for a while to relax into that, letting go of all the hurt and pain, guilt and shame, stress and tension, and allowing ourselves for a while to relax and unwind. And as we unwind, if there are strong emotions that have been coming out, that's okay. As they ebb, as they ease, we relax and drift deeper. So perhaps you might feel a gentle breeze on your cheeks, and there might be the rustling of leaves. Wherever you are, allow yourself now to find that place where you can most easily connect to all of this amazing healing energy around you. And that might be simply by observing and feeling what we're sitting on or lying on. So whether it's a rock or the ground, grass with leaves, in feeling into that, allowing ourselves to remember that we're on this amazing, enormous rock covered in water, flying through space, and this wonderful miracle of life that can be so overwhelming and so wonderful and entrancing and delightful. So the more we allow it to be, to not judge, to be mindful of any moment, the more we can connect. And anyone who would like now, as I connect the universal healing energy to those that are comfortable and that would like and allow, the more and more you might become aware of the healing energy, and it might enter through the crown of your head as if a gentle shaft of sunlight was touching your forehead. Or it might enter you in different ways, for we're all different, and how the energies flow all depends on where and how we are, and which chakras are blocked and which are open. So simply allow yourself to relax and allow that energy to flow through you that is right for you today. And that might be motivating energy. It might be soothing and calming, loving energy. It might be energy that reminds you to genuinely love yourself, all your quirks, all the programming that you, just like everyone else in this world, have received through the journey of your life. And the more we learn how to change that programming for our best possible future, the easier it becomes to tune into this energy. So you might feel this loving, soothing, healing energy that is forgiving and accepting. In growing from our past, in allowing our subconscious mind to reprocess it, so that more and more, rather than being at the mercy of our limbic system and our amygdala and hippocampus, the more and more we can reprogram those pictures and emotions that are in there to allow us to feel more in control of our own emotions at a pace that's right for us. In coming back to self-love and gratitude, more and more we can learn, we can understand how we are programmed and therefore how everyone else is programmed. And then it becomes easier to not take it personally when someone comes across who you might label as a complete waste of space. And yet, they're entitled, just as we are, to their journey. And it becomes easier to love everyone, regardless of whether you would class them as a close friend, someone you love, a stranger, an enemy. Ultimately, when we can love everyone, including ourselves, the journey gets easier. Just because we love people doesn't mean that we let them walk over us. We set boundaries. We communicate. As this energy now comes from our third eye, our intuition and deeper wisdom and knowledge, and rests on our throat chakra for a while, we allow ourselves to express ourselves with respect to ourselves and the other. So often we don't express, we don't say what we want because we're afraid or we're socially taught not to. And yet, in saying what we need to say, and sometimes we can only do that in a journal or however we do it, when we honor ourselves and speak with respect for ourselves and the other person, understanding their viewpoint, understanding that if we had their life's journey, their history, genetics and upbringing, we would behave exactly the same way that they did. So it becomes easier, and then we can grow our strength and confidence to set our boundaries, to say what we need to say. And we more deeply relax in allowing ourselves to be who we are. As that energy drifts, as we let it enter our heart space for a while, making sure that we allow ourselves to be loving. Life can so often close this space, and sometimes we might feel self-conscious about putting our hand on our heart and letting our own energy flow into our heart. And yet, it can be so beneficial, soothing and healing in this space. If we're holding on to stories of hurt, of being a victim, that is totally our entitlement, the more we recognize how we use our stories from the past to shape and manipulate our world, our own happiness, how it colors how we view what other people say to us, the more we can grow from them, the more we can forgive and move on, let go, so we can let our heart energy open to be loving, even to those who would wish to harm us. We can love them and prevent them from harming us. Just because I've forgiven someone doesn't mean I have to invite them back into my life. However, it is such a wonderful feeling when our heart is open, because we can look at, and we don't have to look, we can feel, we can smell, we can taste all these wonderful experiences around us without needing to put negative labels on. We can see the good, the silver linings, the whatever. As that energy drifts further into our abdomen, here where we absorb energy from our food, the sunlight, here where our gut performs these little miracles, we have all of these amazing microbes, and unfortunately so much of our modern society is being taught to fear microbes. Everything is fear, fear. And obviously, yes, there are microbes that we don't want. However, we have these amazing gut bacteria and yeasts and molds and just amazing microbes that help us absorb food, help us absorb energy, help us to create the neurotransmitters that make us happier. And there's so much information about this now. So take a moment to send loving energy into this area. And when we eat with our body and mind, when we actually observe what we eat, when we eat, how we eat, and don't just eat, but feel how we feel afterwards, then it becomes easier to increase the amount of wholesome, good food that we eat without resenting it, without feeling that we have to, engage in some fad or other. When we listen to our gut, and we're all different, so one diet doesn't fit everyone. When you work out and find out what works for you, your energy levels can improve. And your state of mind can improve. Now in this area, not just all these little microbes, here we also have all these different connections. This is where our confidence, our ego, or our id sits, our sense of self and confidence. I've said confidence. So in this space, we have connections to other people, energy connections. Anyone who's ever been through different stresses or, conflict, drama, certain people can trigger either really good or really bad feelings in our gut, a gut feeling, and we can go off our food, all sorts of things can happen. So the more we honor this space and send good energy to it and cleanse and clear it, the better our overall connection to all around us will be. So imagine that this loving, healing light spreads through your abdomen, and it might even radiate out from there, radiate to all the people that you're connected with, whether it's good or bad. We have good connections and bad. But our energy channels, as they get blocked, flow is reduced. Imagine that this bright light from all around us that's always available to us in as much energy as we need and can allow to flow, that cleanses and clears all of the connections to everyone around you, helps to reorganize them in a better way so that people that you might be thinking about too often in a negative way, those connections are distant, pushed further away, so your mind simply automatically doesn't have to pay much attention to that anymore. Instead, bringing yourself back to this moment. Whose business am I in? It's a good thing to think about if you're having a lot of mind, gut connection and obsessing about people. If you're worrying about someone else's business, allow yourself to smile and say, yes, obviously I care about that. However, come back to me, come back to my mental calm. As this energy spreads further through our body, to the lower chakras, the sacral chakra and root chakra, giving ourselves permission now to let go of any guilt or shame we have about enjoying our life, about enjoying our physical being. Through misinformation and manipulation over millennia, we're all taught different levels of shame and guilt. And ultimately, for the majority of that is totally unwarranted. And we can simply allow that now to be washed away so that we can allow ourselves to take pleasure in our physical being, as long as it is between consenting adults. It doesn't matter how or what we do. Give yourself permission to set the intention to do no harm, and then enjoy life. As we then connect more deeply to our root chakra, the connection to this moment of now, so often we wish to escape our current moment. We might think of a better possible future, or remorse, or stuck in a negative or positive thought from the past. The more we come back to this moment, being mindful, okay, what's happening in my body right now? The more we reconnect to that, the more our energies align, the easier it becomes for us to think clearly, even in moments of stress. And then we make better decisions in those moments. Or we find the courage afterwards to make better adjustments to the decisions we made. Always supporting ourselves and having our own back. So any decision we make, once we make it, it's not wrong. It's simply the best that we could do at the time. If new information comes along that says, well, that wasn't the right decision, that's okay. We grow from that. So more and more, as we connect to this moment of now, allowing your energy to be as it is, to cleanse and clear as much as can be, and allowing yourself more and more easily to genuinely love yourself. And it's easy to say that. Sometimes it's not easy to say. However, the more you just find that softening within yourself towards yourself, that going, it's okay, you know. And I've had some really spectacular stuff-ups in my life recently that I do. That's my responsibility. And I can send love to myself through that and allow it. Everyone is more stressed. Therefore, I can genuinely love myself. And we all can, because we're these amazing, wonderful beings. So yeah, allow yourself now for a moment to rest in inner peace and calm at a level that's right for you. As I count again from 10 to 1, I invite you, if you can still hear my words, if you wish, to allow yourself either to become heavier or lighter with each count, whichever is easier for you. So if you're someone who likes to float and you can feel yourself get lighter as you let go of things, do that. If you like to feel heavier, to feel more grounded and present, then do that. Whatever is right for you. As I count from 10 to 9, going twice as deep. 8, twice as relaxed. 7, the most beautiful sights, sounds and sensations becoming twice as real around you with each count. 6, as you drift deeper down. 5, more and more relaxed. Just relaxing. Just relaxing. 4, as all stress, tension and negative energy leaves your body, your energy matrix at your pace. 3, replenishing your deep inner reserve, absorbing, chakras rebalancing, happening automatically as we tap into that wisdom of our bodies and minds and spirit. 2, twice as deep again. And 1. And as you allow yourself to rest in this state, remembering that the more often you do this, the more regularly you do this, the healthier your vessel will be. And as we take a moment in this space to thank and acknowledge our guardians and guides, whatever that may mean. For some of you, that will simply be wonderful, influential people that help guide you emotionally, physically, however, during your life. For some of us, that's ancestors, that's energy beings that are at levels that are beyond our comprehension. And everyone's reality is right. So whatever it means for you, thank you. And to all of us present, as we relax, I invite you for a moment to simply rest in a feeling of gratitude and wishing well to all who are present in this state. Anyone who is present here who needs energy, may strong energy flow to you now. Anyone who has excess energy, help send that to those of us that need. And as that energy finds its own level, I'm grateful for all that are present, for all these amazing experiences that we have and share in this world that we live in. May we all be happy. May we all be free from suffering. And as we relax, as we continue for one last glorious moment of infinity, to absorb as much energy as we need and want, to restore our deep inner calm and replenish all of the reserves. Imagine anyone who has been drained and exhausted by aspects of this life, by this experience. Imagine that for a while, all of your little brain cells, every single cell in your body that is constantly being renewed on a daily, yearly cycle, that all of these little cells for a while now can celebrate the fact that, hey, you've made it this far, and you can let go of the stories of what caused you to be as you are now. Ultimately, yes, that is part of our life, and we can grow in strength from them. And then if all of the little cells work together and more rejoice about thinking about all the little wonderful observations we can make each day that don't cost energy, you know, looking at a flower and rejoicing in it, all the things that we can do to bring appreciation of life, the more and more we may find that with time, those energies are restored, that we may find ways to be that brings more enthusiasm, that allows us more easily to do things. And yes, we may still be very exhausted afterwards. And little by little, bit by bit, things may increase. And even if not, if we simply let go of the label of being exhausted and find a different way of appreciating, then again life becomes better in different ways, more energy charged. And at every level, wherever you are on your journey now, I invite you to allow every single part of you that is ready to align with your brightest and best possible future. Letting go of anything that's holding you back. Giving yourself permission more and more to rejoice in being who you are. Rejoicing in your positives. Allowing yourself to do what brings you joy. And as you do, to integrate and become whole. Allow your aura to heal, your energies to heal and align, and you might feel more energized through this process. Or you might find that instead you're going to have a really good sleep and then tomorrow you'll feel more energized. However it happens, allow whatever happens to happen. As you more deeply relax and align and then integrate. Now in a moment, as I bring you back, as I count from 1 to 5 and you gently, lovingly return, allow yourself to return at your own pace. And when I get to the number 5, your eyes will open when you're ready. As I count from 1, this deeply relaxed state which is always within you, to 2, gently starting to return, a feeling of wellness and calm returning with you. 3, slowly coming closer now. Maybe just becoming aware of your fingers and toes. 4, starting to wriggle your fingers and toes now, maybe even stretching some of your larger muscle groups. And 5, taking as long as you need. You might hear me still in the background talking for a moment, or you might already be alert. Whatever is happening, if you haven't tranced before, or even if you have, if you've come out of a really deep trance, please make sure that you're fully back in your body before you drive, before you operate heavy machinery. So you might need to take 5, 10, 15 minutes, have a cup of tea or coffee, whatever it is. So make sure that you're fully back to being you. Thank you for your presence and your patience, and everyone who's been subscribing. I'm so grateful. Thank you. If you haven't subscribed, and if you're seeing this, please do contact me to pay me some money, send me some shekels. That would be wonderful. Greatly appreciate. The more people that do this, the lower I can make the cost. All feedback welcome on this, and please do tell me how things went. I'm going to stop this recording now and talk to the attendees. Namaste. I'm j.king from Karmic Seeds. Thank you.